I had the fortune of meeting another girl, a girl that would also impact my life in such a positive way, and her name was Jenny. Um, and Jenny, unlike core group, which core group just never really asked me questions about myself or about what I'm interested in or what I do or my dance background, but Jenny did. I just met Jenny. I wasn't friends with her in junior high. I meet Jenny. Jenny's interested in what I do, my ballet, my background, what things interest me. She didn't ask Jenny. Jenny also was not Mormon, so she didn't care about my religion, my feelings about, religious topics, and I didn't have to go into a whole thing about that. She never told me I was going to hell. And she was great. And in 11th grade, there comes time where there's going to be tryouts for the next year teams, right? And it's time for tryouts for what would be the next year's spirit line. So they're going to have tryouts for junior, JV, and varsity cheer and pom line. And cheer and pom line at my high school, I said earlier, competitive, but these are also very popular girls. These are girls that have a lot of value on campus. My high school, I felt, was very much like a stereotypical 90s high school movie with the usual cliques. That is how I would describe my high school. It had all the cliques, it had all the different groupings of students, even the students that were like not into being a group or into being a part of a group or were anti-clique. That was a group. If you were anti-group, you were a group. You're a group of anti-group people. So yeah, that was my high school in the 90s for sure. There was a lot of hairspray. There's a lot of like bangs. It's a lot of stuff like that going on. A lot of girls would wear makeup. I didn't wear makeup in high school. I had to wear a lot of makeup, stage makeup, because of ballet performances. So I'd been wearing heavy, heavy makeup for many, many years. Even as a preteen, I'm wearing full face. So, yeah, when it came to school every day, I did not wear makeup. Anyway, I'll get to that senior year. So back to Spirit Line tryouts. Jenny was like, Tina, I'm gonna audition. I'm gonna try out. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm not trying out. Those girls are very good. I don't feel I would stand a chance to make it. I come from a ballet world. Ballet, you don't speak, you don't talk, you don't make sounds, you're not cheering, you're not holding pom-poms. And so I was like, there's no way I'll ever be able to learn any of that stuff. But Jenny was like, Tina, you're going to try out with me. You've been a ballet dancer for a long time. You know how to learn choreography. You are a dancer. You're going to try out. And so she had me try out with her. She pretty much forced me to try out with her in the best way. I told myself that I'm not going to tell anybody I'm trying out. The only people that knew I was going to try out were Jenny and my parents knew because we needed to borrow their driveway and garage to rehearse and practice with my boombox, and that's what we did. And we go to orientation. Orientation had like over 200 girls that were there to try out. Like it was crazy. It was insane. I found out they were doing tryouts based on a number and not a name. I was happy about that. I live in a Mormon community. There are certain Mormon names. Mormons will tell you this. The Mormons have told me this. That's how I know things about the Mormon culture, because Mormons share it with me. But there are a lot of Mormon names that have a lot of high value in the Mormon community. Well-known Mormons, prominent. Yeah, Mormons. You have prominent Mormon families. Yes. Um, Families that come from money. And a lot of families that own businesses and they have their names on the business, so you know who owns what. I was happy to hear that they were going to do tryouts based on a number. That would make it more fair. And so, you know, Jenny helped me march on and get through these tryouts. And tryouts, there was a lot going on. For me, I was trying out for palm line. So we had to learn and perform cheers. We had to do across the floor combinations. We had to do pirouettes, left, right leg. I, being a dancer, I was good at a lot of things dance related, but I was an expert at turns, pirouettes, piqué turns, fouettes, expert. Pencil turns, attitude turns. I was very, very good at them. That was the one thing I could do very, very well. And I practiced them all the time. And so, yeah, I found that I could use a lot of my ballet experience and my technique. Technique is a big deal. It's part of a core of being a ballet dancer is technique. And I was able to use that in tryouts. And Jenny and I supported each other the whole way through. We get to the day where we find out if we made the list. I remember us waiting in the car. It was nighttime. Jenny and I wanted the other girls to clear out. We didn't want to find out that we didn't make it in front of everybody. And so finally the girls start to clear out. Jenny and I get out of the car. We look at the list. She doesn't make it, I make it, but you could not even tell she didn't make it. She was so excited that I made it. It just about made me cry. I just wasn't used to I'm used to core group, and core group they never really got excited about anything that I was doing or anything that I put a lot of time and discipline into. And Jenny she was just so beyond excited for me. And that's just what really like helped make it, you know, a win for me, was finding out that I made it and then having Jenny there to be supportive. Core group, I remember having to tell core group the next day we were at school. And I was like, I got something to tell you guys, because it was going to be announced. The school was going to like do kind of an announcement, I think at an assembly or something, like introducing your next year's squads. And I remember telling core group, hey, I have something to tell you. And I told them and they were not excited. I remember core group being disappointed in me and annoyed at me for not telling them that I was trying out and essentially keeping it a secret. Also saying that they would never join the Spirit Line squad because that's not what they support. They're not into that. And they were not very supportive of the girls that were a part of Spirit Line. In retrospect, looking back, this I would equate to jealousy. But at the time, it just made me feel bad because I respected these girls. I saw their talent. But the core group didn't take dance lessons like that. As I said, I'd been dancing and devoting my life to ballet. And they weren't in a ballet studio or on a ballet company. I was doing point work for, by this time, years now. So I'm in point shoes, ballet shoes, jazz shoes. I'm just investing my time in other things that make me happy. And yeah, core group just couldn't be a part of that or celebrating that happiness. Those should have all been red flags for me at the time. But I just didn't have, I don't know that I had the strength or the courage to walk away from core group. I really didn't. I didn't have a lot of self-esteem back then. I will one day do a ballet video and talk about my time in the ballet world and spending my time in a white ballet company, a white ballet studio, white directors, white ballet dancers. But that world definitely took a toll on my self-esteem and my self-confidence. And also gave me some distorted views about my body and about food. So yeah, I'm holding a lot of that in my mind as a teenager as well. and dealing with the environment that I'm living in. And then on top of that, I just have this core group that's just not teammates with me. And yeah, so let's get to high school dances. So I'm nearing the end of 11th grade. I'm on dance company at my school. And I found out that I made varsity spirit line for senior year. Um, and I've got core group, but I've still have these other little friends that are supportive of me, really. These are the kinds of people I really should have been investing my friendship time in. But whatever, I'm doing the best that I can in high school. So between the 4 dances for 11th grade, homecoming, Sadie Hawkins, winter formal, and prom, let's see how many dances, how many boys were reaching out, what was going on for me back then. Oh, here's another one. How many dances did core group say, you know what? Maybe we'll just help Tina out and we'll all go to a dance together. Why don't we just do that? Because people do that. Girls do that. They do go to a dances as a group. So how many times was I asked to a dance by a boy or asked to a dance by my group of friends so that we could all go together? That's going to be 0. That's going to be a 0. Unsurprisingly, I was also helping core group get ready for the dances when they would get asked. I was helping them, get their hair ready, corsages. I would be there. So I'm supportive of core group. And then core group would leave whatever house we were meeting at. They would leave me there. And then I would just spend the time either with their parents or little sisters, or I would go home. And they were fine with that. Core group was fine with that. But yeah, they were definitely leaving me behind. So yeah, that's 11th grade. So let's get to 12th grade, shall we? Let's finish this off. So I made it to 12th grade. I'm now on Spirit Line. Prior to 12th grade, there's a cheer camp we have to go to. And so I'm definitely involved in this new environment. I am the only person of color on Spirit Line for JV and varsity, cheer and pom line. Everybody else is white. It's just me. So yeah, I'm representing girls of color. Yes, girls of color do ballet. Girls of color do dance. Girls of color can choreograph. Girls of color can be cheerleaders and cheer, and girls of color can do that. So I'm fully taking on that representation. And yeah, we get bags in high school. If you make these squads, you get an embroidered bag with the school colors. I had 2 bags. I had one for being a pommy, and I had one for dance company at school. I got 2 bags. I'm joined up. I'm in stuff at school. I'm doing things. I'm involved. I am a good student. Again, I am not getting in trouble. No. These high school teachers were not teachers to be messed with. I am not getting in trouble. I've got good grades. I did not smoke. I did not drink. I am not getting in trouble. I didn't ditch classes. I had people in core group that ditched classes. I did not ditch classes. I was teased about not ditching classes. I was teased by core group about not cussing. I didn't use foul language. I was teased from core group about not bending the rules. Yeah. And core group just never understood that I was under a different jurisdiction. I was not in the same manner of discipline as they were. I was not given the same opportunities that were. And they don't even know because they never asked or cared about things or n- e- even cared to understand what I'm dealing with at school and outside of school. Okay, so senior year, I found myself engaging in other kinds of Mormon activities. As I said earlier, I was friends with some Mormons that lived in my neighborhood that were older than me. And some of these Mormon girls had graduated from high school and hadn't yet moved down, moved in, along in the journey of getting engaged and getting married. And that's something that happens typically fairly quickly for Mormon girls is graduating from high school, relationship, engagement, marriage. And that happens much more quickly than, for instance, in my religion, the way I was raised in Christianity. Sometimes those things can take it, people will get engaged and then take a period of time before they get married, and that period of time varies. But in a Mormon community, things move very, very quickly, and it could be a matter of weeks or months, and it's done. Um, and there's an expectation for Mormon men to go on a mission that's typically 2 years. I believe for girls, it's 18 months. And yes, I've known a couple of Mormon girls that have gone on Mormon missions. Um, and then when they got back, they found themselves moving into engagement and marriage, kids, that kind of thing. So by the time I'm senior, I am accompanying older Mormons than myself to singles ward because they're trying to move into a place of engagement and marriage. And so I would go to singles ward. And yes, that would be very uncomfortable for me. I do remember being at singles wards several times and just getting stares from other Mormons. It was just the same old thing. I just got sick of the stares and the looks and the surprise and what's she doing here, um, kind of thing. But the Mormons that I would go to these events with just didn't care about my discomfort. Um, but it's just, in a sense, kind of what I'm conditioned to do at that time is just to not make other people uncomfortable. And if they're trying to date, like I'm trying to date too, but if they're trying to date and they want help, then I'm going to be supportive. I mean, that was just the kind of person I was back then. I was just trying to support people within their culture or their religion. And I don't at all feel like that was reciprocated, and to be at the Mormon temple for so many things and Easter pageant or a reception because a couple is getting sealed in the temple, or just walking around because we're right by the temple. We might as well walk around and meet up with other Mormons. So with Mormons, there's always something to do, and it can typically involve meeting up with other Mormons. So, yeah. And it just reinforces that white males are not going to date black females in East Mesa. Not where I grew up. No, no. Um, and to go to singles ward so many times and to be amongst Mormons who are assuming and are correct that I'm not Mormon because of the color of my skin or my ethnic presentation, and then to automatically treat me a certain way because of that is not enjoyable for me. But Mormons just didn't pay attention to the times where I'm uncomfortable or their people. These are not my people. Their people are saying things that are offensive and they're not saying anything to stop it. So, senior year, I'm in French class. I took French class in high school. I know. I thought I would have this big, huge advantage because I took ballet for so many years. And in ballet, guess what? We only speak in French. And so I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to have this advantage in French class, but no, in French class, you're not speaking in movement terms. You're not speaking in grand plie and rond de jambe and port de bras and pas de chat and soutenu and chassé and tombe, pas de bourrée, grand plie, enveloppé, développé. You're not speaking like that because no one speaks in movement unless you're a dancer dancing. So anyway, it was too late to stop. Once you're in French, you're in French. So I'm in French, and I've been taking French for a couple of years. And I've made friends with 2 Mormons in French, a couple other girls in French class, but this is a Mormon story. So I have 2 friends in French class. Their names are Jenny, different Jenny from my previous Jenny. Jenny and Anna. Jenny and Anna are Mormon. And Jenny and Anna are, I perceived, high up in the Mormon popularity. And one day, this is right before class, I sit down and there's a girl in class named Amy, and Amy is Mormon as well. And Amy plopped down next to me, and Amy and I are not friends. Amy and I do not talk. We don't talk at all at school. I am not friends with Amy. I know of her, but I don't know her, and she doesn't know me. But Amy plops down, and Amy's like, you're going to hell. Right? That's exactly how it starts. And that's how these kinds of things start. There's no warm up. It's just, and we're on. So she's like, you're going to hell, don't you? And she's looking me up and down. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And she said, you're going to hell. You're going to go to hell. And so as she repeats it, Jenny and Anna, who are sitting like right in front of me, they turn around, they look at Amy, they give her the look, and they tell her to stop it. They say, you better cut it out. Don't talk to Tina that way, and to leave me alone. Leave her alone. And Amy stopped. Amy looked embarrassed, and Amy shut her mouth, and she didn't tell me I was going to hell again in that class. And that was the first time, I bring this story up, it was the first time I ever saw 2 Mormons, or a Mormon. It was 2 this time, but it was the first time I saw a Mormon defend me in front of another Mormon. I'd never had that happen before. I've never had that happen in a friend's home. I've never had that happen outside of a friend's home. I've never had that happen in a classroom where a Mormon who's a part of the in-group, being Mormon is an in-group. I'm not Mormon, I'm in the out-group. 2 Mormons in the in-group tell another Mormon in the in-group to stop it and cut it out. And Amy piped down, and Anna and Jenny's words go a long way. And I just remember thinking, okay, so Mormons can defend me if they want to. Wow, this is interesting. Was I just offended from a Mormon, by a Mormon to another Mormon? Was I just offended? I mean, yeah. And so moving forward, even post-graduation, I would still not be defended by the Mormons I knew personally defend me to other Mormons. No, these would be Mormons that would just continue to let their brothers, their cousins, their husbands say whatever, and they just watch it happen. So yeah, so senior year, I enjoyed my time on Spirit Line. Varsity Spirit Line was my ballet experience is on one extreme, and being a part, learning cheers, learning how to be a cheerleader, all of that was on the other end of the spectrum for me. In ballet, I was constantly criticized about my height. I'm 5'9". I was criticized about my height. I really, really needed to be 5'2", 5'3". I was criticized about being too tall. I was criticized about my weight. I was and about different parts of my body specifically. And I was criticized about eating food. So those three things were things that I'd endured for years. I mean, those were just messages on the regular, just regular messages about my body, food, eat less, skip meals, eat less, you need to be skinny, skinny, not fit, skinny. But when I joined the Spirit Line at my high school, our coach was fantastic. She gave me encouragement, praise. She knew I was a ballet dancer. She loved that. She gave me time and patience to work on transitioning into an even more developed dancer, because I'm learning movements and cheers and choreography that I typically wouldn't do in a ballet studio. Any comments she made about my body were positive. She always told me how strong I was as a person on the squad. She never told me to lose weight, and she never told me I needed to not eat. So that was helpful. She also told me that she'd wished I had tried out in 10th grade and not waited till 11th grade to be on the squad my senior year. I couldn't have asked for anything else from her. She was great. The girls, so there's probably some curiosity about these girls, these really, really popular, talented girls. And the girls were nice. I believe that those girls respected me for my talent, and I respected them for their talent. And so I didn't have any personal issues with them or from them with me. Everything always was fine. And so that was nice too. That was a surprise too. And yeah, I thought maybe at some level being on the Spirit Line, dancing also with the dance company at high school, I thought maybe that would get me somewhere my senior year. Like maybe I'd have some brave white dude crossover. So let's answer that question, shall we? Let's kind of finish out these videos on whether or not I was able to finally get a date, have a boyfriend, get a phone call, hold hands with someone, maybe kissing, anything, a note, a note by pigeon carrier, a note in a bottle. Maybe core group was like, you know what? Tina's a dancer. Maybe we could just hook her up and go to a dance with her. We'll just do it all together. Because, in 10th grade and 11th grade, we're going to dances and we keep passing out all those photos in front of Tina of us posing at the dances. And oh my gosh, and look at them, look at the pictures. So back then we didn't have smartphones, so it was all about the photos and passing around the photos and passing them out in front of Tina. Oh, Tina, look how great I looked. And it's like, yeah, I helped you get ready for that dance. Maybe one of them was like, you know what? Tina so far has missed 8 dances, 4 10th grade, 4 11th grade. Maybe senior year will help her out. Anything. Did anything happen? Did I get asked? Did I get a promposal? Yeah, that's going to be a 0. Yeah, so yeah, that was high school. High school, I never had no dates. I never went to a dance. So I don't know what that feels like. I don't even know what the theme was. I have no idea. I never went to prom, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Never went to homecoming. My friends' core group, there's 6 girls, there's 6 of them now. They've got boyfriends, they've got stuff going on, but none of what they were doing included me. It just included each other, themselves. And yeah, they never asked me about that. It wasn't ever talked about. I wasn't going to bring it up because that would make them uncomfortable. And who wants to suggest, hey guys, you think maybe you could come with me to a dinner? I could come with, no, I'm not even going to ask that. And this would reinforce to me, it was something I should have paid attention to back then, but I kept core group in my life after high school graduation and moving into college. Core group would be around, and core group would continue to disappoint. Core group would continue to hurt my feelings, and core group would never, ever apologize for anything. Core group has never apologized. No one in the group has ever apologized for anything they've done in high school and after high school. Yeah, core group would continue to hurt me all the way into my, my 20s and 30s. And I would still stick with them that long. So yeah, that's high school. And I just think it's important to share. It's important to share, you know, what I went through, and to talk about, based on all of the statistics I've given in my videos, based on all of the personal disclosures I've made in my videos. I guess it would have been a miracle that I'd had a date. It would have been. That's my life. That's high school. At least it did bring me friendships that were helpful, that did help me get through things, that did open the door for me to be able to share some pieces about myself. Um, and and so I'm very grateful and thankful for that. But yeah, that's my video about friendships, relationships. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and don't forget to explore your world.